Excellent. Now, for all of us, I know we might have seen the flyer, and I know it is a very optimistic attempt. The content of what we have today could take weeks, if not months, to be able to go through. But I believe that we can just touch the surface, and at that will help us to begin to jumpstart thinking. And I know for most of us who are even here, some of us, at least majority of us, we are already employed. However, in life, nothing beats progress. We always want to pivot. We always want to go to a different level. And you know, even without you doing anything, your age also is counting, isn't it? And that's our life is, that we just want to also, like our age is counting, either in the area of our business, either in the area of our interests, what we are passionate about. We want to also increase, if you like. We want to also make more, we want to get more. And that is how God has built the world. So progress, desire to become better is built into everyone. And for me as a person, I've looked at it that there are quite a lot of things where I would have said, oh, I can be better than this. I can be better in this area. And that's why I think we are meeting together today. Now, this particular event is put together by the Career Institute UK, is a personal project run by myself, based on the wealth of experience that we've been able to put together based on encounter and meeting of people. All right, let me share my slide as we. Okay. So if there is any, I'm hoping to make this as engaging as possible. So it's not going to just be a solo talk. There might be times in which we'll get feedback from you. And also within this particular time and space, there might also be opportunity. We'll be watching some videos. And so please, I crave your indulgence to be, and even when we're watching the videos, to still be engaging as possible, to still try and take something away from today. My desire, our desire, is that at the end of this event, by the end of December, in some couple of months, you will, from the knowledge you have gained, become better, either for yourself, or you have now used the knowledge to help and pass on to other person. You pass on the knowledge to other people to make them to also become better and to be able to achieve better in their lives. Because we are all, I don't know if you've heard of that analogy of a candle does not light itself. You know, a candle lights other candles, And as it's lighting other candles, it might be waning away, it might be dissolving. However, the candle is fulfilling purpose because the candle is now more than just one candle. It's now becoming a light, bringing light to all other candles, and the light fills the place. So today we are very optimistic of that's what we have ahead of us. So let's just go for it in the space of the time. Now, I know I've left because of what we have ahead of us. I'm hoping to run through my slides in 1 hour. So you could see that I have, if I'm correct, about 57 slides. And out of that 57 slides, there are even some areas I've not even included because of the time of being able to address, which we might just address verbally. I'll just speak over those sections. So, but let's go for it, and we trust that. All right. So the aim of this workshop is not to reprimand anybody or berate or to scold anybody. So rather, it's an attempt to suggest some possible templates for your self-discovery, your mastery, and attainment of your desires in every area of your life on the journey of making impact on earth. My desire, and in another project I run, the Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative, our impact and desire is that everyone, like they can do, should make impact. You should make impact in your community. You cannot just be in a community without making impact. You should add value to your community. And that's our desire. So even when you are getting an employment, if you are unemployed, you should make impact. If you are in between jobs, you should make impact. If you are a student, you should make impact. So that's our big goal and desire. So quite quickly, who am I? I'm Dr. Olushola Ajide, with over 22 years experience in consulting, in administration, in non-governmental organizations, in the academia, just broad experience. And by the grace of God, in this last 3 years, we've been able to, I personally been able to provide support to 30 people to find employment in the UK in various roles, in various sectors. So we believe that, or I believe that no matter how it is, there's a limit of advice or information which I have that could help you pivot in your life or in any area that you want to go forward. Now, the opening question, I want you to start. So I start by engaging now. So please, we need to begin to engage now. What do you hope to gain today? So you need to type now. I need to type, go to the comment section and type what is your goal? What do you hope to attain? What do you hope to get from today's session? I want to please, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait as long as you type something. I want you to type something. Let's begin to engage. What do you hope to gain? What's your aim? I've told you our aim, what we aim to do for you. What do you hope to gain today? So please type in the comment section what you aim to achieve with the time you are spending, because don't forget, you are spending your data. Don't forget, you are spending your time, and time is money. Time is life. You are spending a whole chunk of your time with us today. So what's the goal? What do you aim to achieve with this time that you are spending? It will help you and help us to be able to understand each other, and to help you also to, at the end of this session, look at it, okay, did I actually attain what I hope to attain? That is very important. I will just go on because of that. Now, I believe strongly that for any particular person in any area of employment, or even as an individual living on earth, some important questions are key. And these are the important questions. And also these important questions also helps you in putting your life in context, in perspective. It also helps you also in putting your life in context, in perspective. So important questions which I think I want you to start to begin to think about. The question of who am I? Who am I? And that's the question you need to answer, which I believe these questions are important, because when you answer this question, it adds values to your life and it makes you to become valuable, like we're going to see in all our conversation today, and makes you to become a different kind of person, making impact, either in your career, either you are employed or unemployed. You begin to make positive impact. So the question I want you to, that you need to begin to think about is, you need to answer the question, who am I? And it's a question of your identity. You must know and recognize your identity. Who am I? As a human being, as a Nigerian, as a person on the earth, as a global citizen, who am I? Understanding that question will help you significantly to pivot and to move on your plan to accelerate your career or accelerate your personal goals. So the second question is, where am I from? Which is an issue of your source. And when I say where am I from, it is not requiring to, like, I know some people are joining us from Delta State, some from Lagos State, some from Azerbaijan, some from Aberdeen, some from Abuja. And I'm not talking about those places. We are talking about you as an individual living on earth. Who is your source? Recognizing that for all of us, there is a supreme being. God Almighty is our source. And when you have that at the front of your mind, it begins to shape and begin to direct and begin to coordinate whatever you do as a person. Again, the third question, why am I here? And that brings to the point of purpose. Why are you living? Why are you existing? Why are you still alive? Why are you on earth? So the aspect of purpose comes into the picture, the aspect of your purpose, understanding your purpose. And so when you are unemployed, it informs your purpose. When you're unemployed, it informs your purpose. Your purpose begins to be the bigger picture, and your employment is just what you begin to move around to suit the purpose of why you are existing. The fourth one there is, what can I do? And that comes to the aspect of your potential, your potential. So when it comes to the issue of you in a place of work, you employed or unemployed, what can I do is very significant. It's important. It talks of your potential and what you can do as an individual. Sorry, let me just, okay. The last one is, where am I going? And that talks about your destiny. So there's a need for you to begin to think about, okay, if I have an identity, I come from a source, and I'm here for a purpose, and I have a potential. So the question would now be, okay, would I be here forever? Where am I going? So after this earth, where are you going? There's a need for you to begin to think about this, because it helps put your life in perspective and help you on your journey of discovery, on your journey of accelerating progress in life. This puts you in check, so to ensure that you are doing. In another, last week, Saturday, I gave a talk in Canada, in Aberdeen, and this coronavirus has made, I was delivering a session in Canada with another group talking about ethics, the value of our lives, the ethical values we do. Are we ethical? So if somebody is ethical or unethical, these questions are the drivers that determine where the person is positioned. So if somebody is ethical, is looking at it from the perspective of these 5 questions, and you have positive answers for them. And if somebody is unethical, then these questions are not yet in the forefront of the person's pursuit. So again, I would like to encourage you, if you are employed, type 1 in the comment section. If you are in between jobs, you are in transition, you want to move from one place to another, please type 2 in the comment section. And if you are unemployed, please type 3 in the comment section. I'll just go on because now the first aspect of our videos is here. Now, when it comes to the issue of career, if you look at the flyer, I talk about mind shift and quite a lot of things. It has to do first and foremost with the issue of your mind. And it comes from the place of doubt, to say, oh, can I do it? Am I able to do this particular thing? So let's look at this. I might fast forward. Oh, and no, so I will leave that and go back.
All right, welcome to the video this week. We're going to be talking about self-doubt.
I would fast forward.
Thing that you need to know is when you set a goal, or you just thing that you need to experience some level of self-doubt. It's completely normal, and that's the first thing that you need to do. They're going to up level, grow, do something that they've never done before.
Sorry about that, Mac.
All right, welcome to the video this week. We're going to be talking about do something that they've never done before. They're going to experience some level of self-doubt.
Can you hear the audio properly, please?
Normal, and that's the first.
Is when you set a goal, or you decide you want to move from where you are to where you want to be, you want to grow in some way, you are going to experience some self-doubt. Okay, so your brain is going to give you some obstacle thoughts, some thoughts that are going to say things like, I can't do it, or are you sure that's possible, or why even try, or some sort of thoughts that are going to shut you down right away. And that is something that is completely normal. Like, can I really do it? I've never done it before. That's how self-doubt shows up. And so the first thing that you need to do is recognize that that is completely normal and it is going to happen. And it doesn't mean stop. The metaphor that I like to use is that self-doubt is like this awkward person who is sitting in the passenger seat of your car. And they're very loud and they sometimes sound like they have some really good points. So I'm going to name self-doubt Max. Okay, so Max is sitting in the front seat of the car, on the passenger side. You're driving, okay? And you decide you want to drive to Las Vegas, let's say. And Max is going to say, yeah, that's going to be too expensive. There's going to be too many stops along the way. We're going to need to get gas. Can the car really make it? Are you sure you're up for driving that far? We don't know the way. Are you sure? How do we get there? We don't know how to do it. We've never driven that far before. We've never gone there before. Max is going to sit there and he's going to say all those things. And it's in that moment when you choose to listen to Max and be like, yes, Max, you're right. Or you say, we're going to do it anyway. We're going to figure out all those things. All the things that Max just listed are potentially valid obstacles that you might face, right? But instead of saying to Max, you're right, we shouldn't even try, you can choose to say, okay, let's list all those obstacles out and let's come up with a plan. We'll come up with a plan as to where we're going to stop for gas, how far it's going to be. We'll map it out. We'll decide where we're going to stop, how we're going to get there. And then you decide to turn those obstacles into strategies for yourself. That is how you manage your self-doubt, and you can choose it. So, point number 2, you get to choose how you react to the self-doubt, whether you listen to the self-doubt or you don't listen to it. Right? And that's the difference between the people who get where they want to go, do the things they want to do, live a bigger life versus the people who don't. Because the people who don't are listening to Max. Okay? They're like, yeah, Max, you're totally right. It's not possible. The people who are not listening to Max are saying, okay, Max, you could be right about some of those things, but let's figure them out, right? Let's figure them out. Let's not let those things stop us. Knowing like, yeah, those are all possibly normal things that could happen. So self-doubt is a choice. Okay. So the first step is to become aware of it. Know that it's normal. Know that your brain is going to serve it up to you. And then realize whether or not you want to take that opportunity to have courage and move forward anyway, or stay where you are. And it's not for everybody. Not everybody will move forward, right? So if you don't have obstacles coming up in your life, it probably means that you're not moving towards a goal that you really want to move towards, that you're excited about, that is bigger, that is going to make you grow into a better human being or somebody who is going to accomplish more in their life. And that's fine. You don't have to, right? It's not for everybody. But when you're growing, when you're making a decision to grow, self-doubt, Max, is going to show up. Okay. And he's going to say something, and he's going to be loud, and he's going to be repetitive. And that's when you get to choose which way you want to go. Listen to Max or not. So another point, number 3, is how are you going to find out what you're really capable of if you do decide to listen to self-doubt? That's the thing. So many of us don't really ever realize what we're really capable of doing because we listen to Max. And we don't even know that we have the option of not listening to Max, right? So that's what I want you to ask yourself is, what are you truly capable of, and how will you know? The answer is your opinion of what Max says. So when Max brings up all the obstacles, what's your opinion on those obstacles? What do you think about what he's saying? If you have all these obstacles that have come up and Max has voiced them really loudly, what are you going to choose? What are you going to decide to think about them, right? So are you going to decide to turn them into strategies or not? And that's the defining factor on whether or not you are truly going to do the things that you could do in this life and reach the full potential, right? So that that thing of reaching full potential, that's a real thing, right? And the self-doubt is what stops people from reaching full potential, even close to full potential, right? So you right now watching this video are so full of potential that I assure you, you're not meeting your full potential right now. You have a lot that you could do if your self-doubt wasn't getting in the way of that, right? If those obstacle thoughts were not something that you had let stop you, right? And so it takes some practice, and it's a habit that you need to build. You first need to understand that it's normal and it's going to happen, and that it doesn't mean stop, right? So many of us take it to mean, stop. It's not going to happen. It can't happen for me, right? Point number 4, if it is possible, someone else has done it, we can see evidence of it being done. So a common one is getting a job that you really want without that experience on paper or without checking all the boxes, right? So you might think not possible. And if you see other people who've done it, you might say, okay, maybe it's possible, but not for me, right? And then you'll come up with unique reasons as to why you can't do it. And that's Max talking again, right? Because he's going to be there. So recognizing that if it's possible in the world, the only reason you wouldn't do it is because of your own self-doubt and because you're listening to Max. Just remember that. If it's possible in the world, if somebody else has done it, if you can find evidence of one other person who's done it, the only reason why you won't is because of your own self-doubt. And finally, point number 5, I want to ask you, what do you actually want to believe? Right? You have the choice. So do you want to believe that you have to stay in your current job for security, for whatever the story that you're telling yourself is, because you can't go any further, because people don't listen to you, because you can't interview well, because you're not capable, because you don't have all the skills necessary yet? Do you want to believe those things? Because you can choose to believe something different. And if you want to keep believing those things, then understanding that that's where you're going to stay, right? And that's the story that you're going to tell yourself, and that's where you're going to remain, is in that current job, because you don't believe that you can leave it. Or do you want to believe that you can leave it? Do you want to be like, Max, noted, but we're going to figure it out? Ask yourself, what do you want to be believing? And is what you believe right now serving you? Are you happy? Because either way, there's going to be some discomfort, right? So if you're unhappy where you are right now, you're feeling some discomfort of not reaching your full potential, of not doing the things you want to be doing with your life, of not living the big life you want to be living. You're living that discomfort every day, knowing that in the back of your head and having that nagging there. Or you could step forth into the world and take massive action in the face of self-doubt, with the courage overcoming the self-doubt, and feel that discomfort, right? The discomfort of moving through to something new, doing something you've never done before, taking those steps, moving through those obstacles. And then that discomfort becomes what actually moves you to where you want to go.
Okay. So I want to now, we've worked out for 9 minutes. And I think she has itemized 5 different points. I want you to leave comments I want to type in the comment section, what are the key things you got from that video? Talking about the example of how to overcome self-doubt when you want to do something new, how you can be able to help. And you could see what she was talking about, the issue of living your full potential, experiencing your full potential, which goes back to the questions I asked at the top, at the beginning. What can I do? So please, I want at this point, I want you to type in the comment section, what are the salient points that resonate with you? What are those things that actually it makes you to begin to think, whoa, wow, I never saw it that way. Please, it's time for you to engage. It's time for you to put in the comment section, what are those things? She's mentioned 5 things. 5 things and how to deal with self-doubt. What point stood with you? Can you please do that right now? I'll wait. I'll give you some minutes. I know it's been a long one. We've listened to that for about 9 minutes, 3 seconds. However, there are great points that have been left rather. The last one she mentioned is that, see, currently you are experiencing some discomfort. So either way you like it, there will be discomfort. So either you desire to progress in your career, there will be discomfort. If you desire not to progress your career, there will be discomfort. So either way, you cannot do without discomfort. So why not, therefore, if you're going to have this discomfort in any way, why not, therefore, make a decision to come up with, okay, if there's going to be discomfort anyway, therefore, let me do X, Y, Z to ensure that I'm moving towards my desire to move in my career, to get new businesses, to get new clients, to get new experiences, new exposure. And like you mentioned, every one of us in life, when you want to do anything you've not done before, there would definitely be self-doubt. There would definitely be self-doubt. But you could see the strategy itemized there is for you to say, okay, this is the self-doubt. You've not done this before. You don't know if anybody will turn up. You don't know if anybody will do X, Y, Z. However, you still go for it because of the greater impact and the greater good that and fulfillment, particularly of your full potential. You see, every one of us on this call today, you actually have not yet scratched the amount of value you can give, the potential you have not yet maximized it. That's the truth. Even if you have been experiencing working for the past 20 years, you've been working for the past 25 years, or you've been working for the past 30 years, you have not yet scratched the potential of what you can gain and what you can do until you overcome this aspect of self-doubt. All right, so I'll go on with the presentation. So at this point, we are addressing knowing yourself and exploring your career choices. You see, it's important for you to know yourself. It's very important. See, when you know yourself, it will help you to know what you are supposed to focus your strength and energy on, and what you ought not to focus your strength and energy on. So knowing yourself and exploring career choices. So you can even change it. Knowing yourself and exploring business choices for those who are business people. Knowing yourself and exploring business choices. What are the type of businesses you need to get into, you need to be doing? So it's important, first and foremost, to know yourself. To know yourself. Great. Okay, so before researching possible career move, it's useful for you to spend time understanding yourself, including your capabilities, including your expertise, including your personal values. This is extremely important so that you don't begin to move against a steep climb, as it were. There's a need for you to know where you fall. Being self-aware also can help you to plan development and make career decisions that are right for you. If you don't know yourself and what you value and your expertise and capabilities, you might be making some career choices that might not be right for you, and that will make life frustrating and that can give you stress. And you don't want to. However, even though we said we don't want to do things that will give you stress, but all of us must do something that will stress us for us to experience our full potential. But you need to understand, what are you cut out for? What is your personality? What is your expertise and values? It's important to know that what you want from your career and what gives you fulfillment. What gives you fulfillment and the type of environment or work culture you will thrive in is very important. I was speaking to somebody who was speaking in a place of work in which he said, in the place of work is this point in which people begin to plan, watch your back, because people are trying to set you up in the kind of very toxic environment. It's important for you to know yourself. If you know yourself, You know the kind of environment where you thrive, and you know where you need to remain or not to remain in that kind of environment. This can help you to target the type of professional development opportunity that will benefit you the most. When you are able to know yourself and you're able to help you to explore what are the chances that are available for you. So number two, there's the need for you to, or number one, under this particular aspect, realize your talents. It's important for you as a person to realize your talents. Think about significant point of achievement or challenges in your life till date. When you're able to think about, take a paper and write out the significant point of achievement you have experienced till date and the challenges you face till date, it will help you to know, oh, you are able to overcome XYZ, you're able to overcome this, you're able to overcome that. That will help you to be able to know what, and you know, take stock, as it were, what are your strengths and what are your abilities. And that is extremely, extremely important. If you permit me at this point, let me do something. So please just allow me. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So realize your talent is important. Think about the point of achievement in your life and till date and take note of that. Also, those things you've taken note of, why are they significant? Don't forget, you are trying to come to the point of understanding yourself, knowing yourself, that would help you to be able to plan and know what kind of career choices you want to go into. So why are those experiences you have, those achievements, those significant points you've itemized till date, no matter the length of your experience, why are they, why are those things significant for you? What have you learned from those experiences? What have you learned from those experiences? And how might those experiences influence the type of path you pursue? Now, I know that sometimes the argument being made here might look as if to say that if I know what I'm good for and I know what I'm cut out for, it will help me to know where I thrive and the career. You might now want to ask me the question, what if I'm not cut out for that area, but for me to grow, to extend my full potential, I need to expose myself to areas, to moving out of my comfort zone. That also is valid, but it will be dependent. That kind of worldview will be dependent on understanding your personalities, in which you recognize that I've plateaued. I've reached a point in which my personal choices and my personality has put me in this box. However, I have more to offer. I have better, I've not maximized my potential until you put yourself in some scenarios that is out of your comfort zone. You might not be able to expand and extend and stretch yourself. You see, I don't know if you've tried this before, in which you have a rubber band and you're trying to pack something together. And you see, until you exert the rubber band, you give a task to the rubber band, you might not know what that rubber band can do until you look for something bigger and you're trying to use the rubber band to hold something bigger. But you see, the rubber band would expand. And in some cases, the rubber band can break. You get the point. But the point I'm making now is that you, like the rubber band, understand yourself, know yourself. If you are getting to the point of which you are trying to break, is to know, okay, I'm trying to break now, I'm taking too much that I can chew. How can I revitalize myself? How can I repair myself? How can I go back and refresh to ensure that you don't get to the breaking point? I hope you'll get my point. All right. One of the things or tools that we're talking about is understanding your personality type. This is key and very important. When you understand your personality types, it plays a critical role in knowing where you thrive and what you are good at and what you're not good at. So understanding your personality type can often provide the key to recognizing why you have tendencies to act or react in a certain way and help you to identify the types of work environment that you thrive in. This is extremely important. And if you look back, as I'm speaking now, if you just take a cursory, but just take a flick back to your career experience and look at some choices you made and try and look at your personality type, you would understand and say, oh, the reason, the tendencies, the logic that was behind some of the decisions you took, either in your family, either in your career choice, or in any area of life. So this is critical for you to understand your personality type, because it helps you to fully maximize your potential as a person. And one of the things you can do after now is to take the Myers-Briggs type indicator test, which can help you to know what kind of a person you are. In addition to that, I put in here just quickly, summarily, about to know if you are introverted or you are or extroverted. So to know what kind of a thing you are. So let's say if you are on the gray circle, the gray quadrant in the picture, I hope you can see my picture on the right, top right hand quadrant. So melancholy is a perfectionist, is have eye for detail, heavy-hearted, e.g., it will keep everything tidy from the beginning so that the cleaning is easy and simple at the end. Can you imagine somebody who is not a perfectionist, somebody who doesn't have eye for detail, and that is the opposite quadrant, the red quadrant. And now let me say this. Now, this is just for you to begin to think, because it's not cast in stone. So don't take me to, it's not cast in stone, but just for you to think that it's possible for someone to be on a different quadrant and find themselves doing successful in any particular profession in which they've been able, like I said earlier, they've been able to break out of their mold and move out of their comfort zone. But you get my logic, just for you to understand what I'm saying. So attention to detail. Could you say, for those of you who are lawyers on this court this morning, if you are a lawyer, and imagine if you don't pay attention to detail, can you imagine what that will lead to your clients, those who take your services? If you have a lawyer who is not paying attention to detail, what would that lead to your clients? Or if, for those of us who are investors, not paying attention to detail, what would that lead to those who are investing money with us? So it's important to take note of your personality and look at where you are and see where there are seemingly things that are not too good, weaknesses you can call them, and see how can I reinforce, how can I make this better? So somebody who is melancholic will be unsociable, will be quiet, will be reserved, will be pessimistic, will be sober, will be rigid, will be anxious, will be moody. Can you imagine the fact that somebody who is melancholic and who is unsociable, and you are working in the marketing role? For those who are marketers, you are a melancholic. You don't like to make friends. You don't like to be sociable. However, you've gotten the job. The only job that came up for you is a job of a marketing role. How are you? You find that every day it's be stress upon stress upon stress. However, if you recognize that you are an unsociable person and you are in that corner of a melancholic, the question, if you want to go to the next level, if you want to accelerate your career, is now to begin to study and know how can somebody who is a melancholic become sociable, because it's possible for you to become sociable. I hope you get the drift here. Yeah, that's the point, to say understanding where you fall. That will help you to know where you are having challenges in your place of work, and to know how you can twist and change and move swiftly to be able to maximize your full potential. Now go to the opposite quadrant, the red quadrant, which is the red one. So somebody who is sanguine is a person who what is spontaneous, is a person who is impulsive, he enjoys fun, jovial, is a people person. E.g., he does not like, there's blackmail, bro, or sees to help to tidy up. Well, that's a very nasty, you could say, example. But you told that particular person, when it likes to be in leadership, is carefree, is lively, is easygoing, is responsive, is talkative, is outgoing, is sociable. And I know you might know where I fall in, in that one, in which when it comes to the issue of talking, I can be talking from now till tomorrow. And that is why God has given me the gift of a teacher. So it means if you are to know that, okay, where I thrive is that aspect of imparting knowledge, that aspect of doing what? Helping people, helping them to become better versions of themselves. So I hope this small example you can see. And like I keep telling people, if you do a SWOT analysis, after this, and just take a sheet of paper, do a SWOT analysis of your strength, look at what are the things you are good at, and look at your weaknesses, what are the things you're not so good at. Then look at the opportunities, what are the things that you can maximize, and what you can call as the threats to your success, the threat to you being successful, the threat to you being achieving your full potential, and try to turn all the threats into opportunities for you to be able to maximize your full potential. And now I know that I don't have a slide for that, but we mentioned the issue of self-esteem. That is very important. Also, if you're a person who is always very moody and your self-esteem is always very knocked down, look at where you fall on this quadrant and see. And I know somebody who is moody will not have self-esteem. Somebody who does always believe that, oh, the way I spoke at that point, that presentation I gave, it was so bad, I will never give a presentation again. That is what somebody like that would decide. But somebody who is a sanguine will say, well, I gave that presentation, it was not so good, it was not as I expected. However, I will still improve myself and I will still go again. I'll go and try again, because it does not mean that the world has come to an end. I hope you get the gist of what you are saying here. So understanding this would help you significantly. Okay, again, understand your values and your motivation. What are the things that drives your motivation? What drives you? What drives your motivation? What are your values? What are the things that motivates you? Like I said, last weekend, I gave a talk about ethics and things. What are your values? Do you value family? Do you value money? And if you value money, do you want money at all costs? That you desire to just get the money at all costs? No matter whatever happens, just get the money. Is that your value? Do you value just to so the point we're saying here, understand your values, know what drives you, ethical things that drives you, and that will help you to know, okay, the job you are going to get, how would that apply and help you in the kind of job? Like last week I mentioned, for those who are investors, ethical investing, for example. So would you like to invest in ammunition? Afghanistan is burning. Afghanistan is boiling now because of the Taliban has taking control of Afghanistan. But I'm just, every time I watch that on the news, I just begin to think, a particular person invested their money in the ammunitions and they are mass producing those ammunitions. Somebody is investing, somebody is making money, and they are using those ammunitions to kill other people. You see, ethical. What are your values? What do you value? Even in your place of work, if you value relationship, if you value friendship, if you value good morals, good morality, you will not be planning to undermine your colleague so that your colleague will be sacked. What are your values? What are your motivations? These are extremely, extremely important. All right. How far do they form the foundation of what you consider to be career success? So for you as a person, what do you classify as career success? Your values will determine that. Your motivations will determine what your career can classify as career success. Is it just that to get to the top, irrespective of whose us is God? Is it just to get to the top, irrespective of who lose their job? You just want to get to the top. What are your values and what are your motivations? Also, what element would a job role need to include for you to feel satisfied at the end of the day's work? So if you want to transition, you want to move from your current job to another job, or from your current business into another kind of business or additional business, what are the elements that it must include for you to say, wow, that was a good business investment I would like to involve in, or that was a good day's job? What kind of things do you want? Is it a place in which to help other people? I know one of us here who is a career motivation, who also helping people to discover their career, young people to do. What kind of things are you feel that will make you feel satisfied at the end of the day to say, wow, that was a day's job, a good day's job done, based on the fact I've been able to add value to those people? You need to look at this. You need to consider this. Also, we'll talk about your capabilities. There's a need for you to audit your capabilities and expertise. Taking stock. What do you consider to be your areas of expertise? What are you have acquired expertise in something you've been doing for a while. What are those areas? What skills, qualities do you possess as a result of your paid or voluntary work experience or hobbies? Now, do you know when you're taking inventory of your strengths, oftentimes people overlook what they did during their hobby time or what they did as voluntary work. Do you know what you did at voluntary as a volunteer can be extremely important to your career progression? It can be extremely important. So don't only take stock of what you did in your paid employment. Take stock of the things that you did even as a voluntary work and what you did as, as a hobby. Because you find that some quality people, what they did as hobby is now what is even earning them money more than what they actually do based on their day job, as it were. So there's a need for you to look at this and try and capture. You are trying to ensure that you have a bigger picture of all that you have and that you are, and to be able to find a place to see how you can use that to get into your desired goal and where you want to be. And let me make at this point say, what you do in your day job is not who you are. I will say that again. Or let me rephrase in a way. What you studied in school is not who you are. Yeah, you can say, for those who are, for example, medical doctors, you studied medicine in school. Yeah, but does that determine and define your life? Of course not. That's the point I'm making. If you studied engineering in school, yes, you're an engineer, yeah, but in your life purpose, you remember the question I asked at the initial, in your life purpose, what is it that the source, the one who created you, what did he want you to achieve in life? So the point I'm making here is that there's a difference between your career, what you have chosen as your career, and the job you were given birth to achieve in life. The job God has created for you to achieve. They are two different things. So understanding that will help you to ensure that you are focusing your attention in trying to fulfill the purpose of what the Creator has given to you. Now, the last thing there is use the Vitae Researcher Development Framework. That is just one of the frameworks that help you map your current capabilities, attributes, and competencies. So you can use, there are a lot of frameworks. So getting this kind of a framework, and I'll think at the next line. So know a competency framework that defines your knowledge, your skill, your attributes, that help people in the kind of work you want to move into. Say you want to move into, for those who have been in sales, you want to move from sales into something different. You want to move into administration. What are the skills, attributes, and capabilities required, the knowledge for someone who is in the administration? You need to know that. When you know how this competency framework is formed, it will help you position yourself as an individual to know what role you'll be playing, because you now know a set of competencies that you can now be able to help you to know how to gain those competencies and be able to move and pivot into that role where you aim to go into. I hope that makes sense. But we're going to have time for, and the last one, what capabilities or competencies are missing in you? Don't forget, we are doing an audit of what you have currently and what you don't have. So say, for example, let me use those who are medical doctors. You want to become the CMD of the NHS, for example. You want to become the CMD of the NHS. And now you are a medical, you are a consultant, or you are a psychologist, a consultant now. The question you now begin to, or a GP now, the question we now begin to ask is, using a framework to know what are the competencies, what are the skills, what are the knowledge or the attributes of people that of CMDs. Does that make sense? And now to begin to say, okay, how can I get those skills? How can I get those capabilities? How can I get those attributes of somebody who is a CMD of the NHS Trust, and say, okay, how can I move myself into that space of going to where I want to begin to function and begin to prep yourself? And you know how it is. That's how life is, you know. For all of us who are now adults, now you can walk up and down. When you are a child below the age of 1, you started walking. You were looking at people all around you. And what do? The people you were seeing all around you was what informed you to also try to take a step and begin to walk, isn't it? So it's important for you to say, okay, where I want to go to, the career I want to move to, what is needed? What are the capabilities needed in there? What do I have now? So this audit helps you to know what you have now, and helps you to know what you are lacking, what is missing, and know how to fill that gap for you to be able to move in to what you want to move and what you want to attain, because it's actually possible to attain anything Now, at this point, I don't know if there's any question. I know it's, for me, it's I've a lot, and we are still under section 1 of our talk of understanding, knowing yourself and exploring career choices. I don't know at this point, is there any question, anything that is burning, anything I've raised, any point I've been raised, and you feel that, oh, this is, there's a need. Is there any question? You can unmute and speak. You can unmute if there's anything that is burning and is of urgency. Any question? Any question at this point?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Okay. My name is Tolulope Makinde.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about the understanding yourself, because I discovered that a lot of young people are not given the privilege to discover themselves, to understand themselves before choosing a career path.
Okay.
So, and many of us, because I also made a mistake while during my undergraduate studies, and before I studied what I studied in my undergraduate studies. So I discovered that because of this reason, that young people and students are not given that privilege to discover themselves, to know what they want to become before choosing a course of study in the school, because I believe your course of study determine who you become and also determine your career path. So, and you know, and we have the role of the parents that impose a course. You know, a parent can say, I want you to be a medical doctor. I love engineering. I'm an engineer. I also want you to follow my footsteps. And it's not in line with the passion and the purpose of that child. So there are a lot of factors that affect one's career path, and peer pressure also affect, because I coach and mentor young people too. I'm mentioning these factors that affect their career path as well. So maybe when you are done, you give us some strategies on how people can find their niche, the place that suits their personality, that suits their purpose, that suits their potential. And those who have made a mistake, like, because it took me so many years before I discovered myself. It was after I graduated from university, I studied microbiology, but it's not related to what I want to do. So how we can help for those that want to transit, like career transition, that is after they study, that they discover themselves and they want to move from a field that is different from, is not related to where they really want to be. So how they can transit to the right career path.
Thank you very much. Thank you as well. Well, you see, that's the bane of our society, in which our parents, maybe I was fortunate. Maybe I was fortunate. Our parents, in trying to force their own dream on their children, and I think it's a challenge. It's a challenge in every society, in which children now go to school to study what they don't have any inkling about, and when they finish, they'll say, "Well, I've done it," and they left it and they move into something totally different when they've now been able to discover themselves. And quite a lot of people, like you rightly mentioned, discover themselves after they finish their first degree, to be honest with you. And it's a challenge. But I believe that looking at the issue of what I mentioned earlier, knowing their personality traits, knowing where they fall on the personality traits would help significantly. So if, for example, one is a lecturer, to try and to help students to know where they fall in, to know what their personality traits are, that might be able to help those people to know what are the things. And it also helps, like I said, know who they are and why they are the way they are. You see, there are a lot of things we don't know. You just find that you do some things. Why do you do the things you do the way you do them? It's because of your personality, because of where you fall in. But we're not saying that that personality is cast in stone. We are saying it's open, but you can be able to, yes. Adegoke Dynasty, go ahead.
Thank you so much, the coordinator, for this opportunity. And I think it's a kind of a eye opener to every one of us. From my home settings, I think I would rather consider environment to be a major issue on career selection. As I've said, for my setting, in my own environment, from the secondary school level up to the last year in the stage of the secondary school here in the UK, we have a career advisor that has been situated in different schools. And from S2, each individual student has the opportunity to catch up with their career advisor. And as a result, there will be enough coaching, enough kind of explanation about what the career is going to be like. And the good thing about the Scottish government here is that there's been a website in which each individual student working with a career advisor will be able to input their data and be able to identify what suits me. So what suits individual, by the time they get to year 3, year 4, most of our students will not even graduate up to year 6. Most of them will end up in apprentice, and as a result. So to cut the long story short, here the system seems to be a bit perfect, but not accurate. One, compared to where I was coming from, I wouldn't know what is going on right now. But back years, I remember for myself as a person, I wanted to do a science. I love science. Most of my friends were there, but there was a guardian and counselor who advised me that based on what the result I presented and based on the conversation he had with me, I wouldn't be able to do that. Yet, as Riley said, my parents want me to do something else. Yet, I want to do something else. But I was a bit disappointed that the guardian counselor advised me against my wish. But to be honest with you, I thank God for where I am, because I think probably if I followed my mind, I may have missed it. So, as I was saying, environment is a very major factor here, where one is privileged to do this, the other may be at disadvantage. So, as the first speaker rightly said, probably you'll be able to come up with a kind of a strategy to give us an insight into what would be applicable, probably how to work on environment and the parent influence. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that insight. It's quite interesting, and it's what you said is actually spot on. Now, for those of us who are in the UK or in the West, they like you rightly mentioned, the educational system has evolved, and based on the training of the psychologists and everything, educational psychologists, they've been able to put all these things in place, and that will help children to discover themselves. However, in where we are coming from in Africa, it's not like that. So and the point you mentioned is quite very interesting also for me, that in my GS3, I think, when we did sciences, I passed and I finished GS3, and the career coach told me I'm good to go and do sciences. I told him, I can't remember if him or her, I said, sorry, I'm not going for that. And I said, maybe that's why I'm privileged, because I was in a boarding house, so I was taking decision myself. I just told the person, I said, see, I'm not good at mathematics. I'm not good at, even though I passed integrated science, I'm not good at this one. And the first day I entered, I knew I'm not going to do science. The first day I entered chemistry class, and they're talking about the tetra, ozo, blah, 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 blah. I just said, oh, no, 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 no. This is my last day, you guys will see me here. Now, if I've been motivated, if there's a good environment, would I have tried in those subjects? Yes, I would have tried, and I would have maybe passed them. But you see, passing the subject is different from thriving and being able to go further in life to be able to achieve something significant, if you get my point, with what you have studied. I hope you get my point. So the issue of personality, and I just to portray your point, I know my daughter also, they expose them to this kind of framework and website that help people to know what their choices are. Please, maybe you can be kind enough, Adegoke Dynasty, to type in the comment section so that other people can benefit some of those websites, so that other people who are from other parts of the world, from Africa, can also begin to see how they can use that to add value to other people. And I think, Adegoke, you still raised up your hand, did you?
Sorry, I need to put it down. Apologies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll just go. So understanding yourself is very important. So before any career move, spend time to understand yourself, including your, like I said earlier, capability, expertise, and personal values. So why do you want to move? Why? What is the reason why you want to move? Why are you moving? So, because if you do this, it will help you to ensure that you are doing the right thing. It will ensure that you are moving in the line of maximizing your full potential. So why do you want to move? And it's important to answer that. And how are you going to get the job? I've given an example earlier about if you are a medical doctor and you want to get to become a CMD, your goal, your aspiration is to get to become a CMD, in which you answer all these questions. You understand and say, okay, why do I want to move? What are my capabilities, strengths, and personal values? What are the requirements based on the competency framework for that particular role. And I know Adego Dynasty, who is an HR specialist, knows more about writing competency framework for job roles and all those areas to know, okay, what are the requirements, what are the skill set for this particular role? And when you are able to understand that, you also ask how are you going to get the job? What are the strategies you're going to put in place? So these are actually extremely, extremely important. Wow, we are still, okay. I think I did something there. Okay, sorry, we've done that. Understand, sorry, we've done that, sorry. Sorry, we've done that. Okay, that's what we just finished now. So I think at this point, we've spent almost 1.5 hours, and we are still on just section 1. Like you said, I told you, quite an audacious and optimistic thing that we're doing. Okay, now this is I think the last part of this section. Personal development plan and managing your career. Now, in whatever career you find yourself, and let me tell you, in life, we keep learning and we know the value of the things we come in contact with. I remember when I started my PhD and they came up with personal development plan. I know I was saying, what is this? Where I was coming from, I'm coming from an environment in which PDP is a political party, isn't it? And now they're talking about PDP. I said, what is this PDP? The reason for that is that there's a need for you to have personal development in life. But you see, I never understood that, even until I started my PhD. We live a life of Q sera sera, whatever will be, will be. But you see, whatever will be will not be if you don't plan for it. And that's the point that was made by Adego Kedanas and talk that about the issue of career transition. Even when you want to transition as a career, there's a need for planning. You need to plan it. And I'm going to give you us examples of how to plan your career with some of the templates I'm going to share with us. There's a need to also, okay, now I'm a microbiologist. I studied microbiology. I don't want to do the job of a microbiologist again. I want to move into coaching, speaking, and teaching. And I've mentioned over and over again, it's okay, you get a template, audit your skills, audit what you know. And say, okay, what do I need in that field I'm going to? Do I have it? If I don't have it, how do I get it? And having this personal development plan would extremely, extremely be beneficial to help you to have this plan. Where we are is unfortunate in Africa. I might be sorry, I might be wrong here. It might be like a general statement. Oftentimes, there's no plan for our career where we're going to go to. We just stumble into one of the first speaker who spoke earlier mentioned about some of the things we find ourselves in is what our parents choose for us, and we find ourselves in it, and that's you in it. And the next one that you find yourself in, for those who are privileged, maybe their father just spoke to, where I have a friend in NMPC. Let me speak to him. You go to NMPC. Afterwards, I have a friend in the bank. Come and go and speak to, work in the bank. Without looking at this aspect of career planning, what is your progression? What are you looking and what are you aiming to achieve? For those who are even planning their career, who are in line with what they are aiming to achieve, there's also the need to be able to manage that career, to say, okay, what more skill can I get? What more knowledge can I get in this field? What more thing can I do to make me position myself to say, okay, this is my career in the next 5 years. Would it still be relevant? Say, for example, those who are in the oil and gas industry. Quite a lot of people who are in the oil and gas industry have gone into murky and muddy waters because there seems to be a shock in the industry, and the next point is they don't know what to do. Some lose their jobs and they don't know what to do. So whatever career you are on right now, there's a need to plan. Whatever career you are on right now, there's a need to manage that career. I hope that makes sense. So let's look at some framework that can help us, that can know a personal template which you can use. I got this from online. Abdul is a business support. So this is a template of a spreadsheet, that can help you take an audit. And there are various types and various shapes and shade. On it, we have your name, the date you're taking this audit. What are the areas for development? In your area for development, you have your personal life, personal development. There's career development. There's family development, your family, your personal goals, community development, your impact in the community, planning for the impact you're going to be making in the community. So you list the area on the left for this particular template, because there are various templates I'm going to share with us. What date I will have completed this by? This career development I want to achieve. What time am I looking at? Is it timeline? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Is it 4 years? What am I going to achieve? At what date? You see at the bottom there, it says what? Ensure that the goals you are making is specific, achievable, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So you will now say, I will achieve this by what date? What is happening now? Taking current assessment. What is happening now? Okay, let me give an example I normally use at one of the job clubs I run. I say, imagine I want to become the advisor to Prime Minister Boris Johnson, for example. Sorry, can you please mute if I'm not talking, please? Let's mute ourselves. I didn't mute. So imagine I want to become the advisor to, a special advisor to the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. So I put their area of development in my career, advisor to Boris Johnson. I will indicate what area of employability. I'm going to be an advisor on employability, helping young people to get back into employment. Date I will have completed this by. What date am I going to have completed this? I will achieve this by what? Is it in 1 year time that I want to become an advisor to Boris Johnson? If I say in 10 years time, you know that in 10 years time, Boris Johnson will no more be the prime minister. So that is not realistic. I think I need to, sorry, I need to, mute everybody. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. Okay, somebody has helped me to do that. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. So the point I was making about career planning and goals, okay, becoming assistant to special assistant to Boris Johnson. thank you, Adegoke Dynasty, for the link that would help other people who are from other parts of the world to be able to do that. Okay. So based on the career planning, I now say, okay, when do I want to become this? I give myself, I will achieve this in the next year and a half. So what is happening right now? So right now, I'll take a stock. What do I have? What skill do I have as an advisor on employability? What experience do I have as advisor on employability? What capabilities do I have as employer on employability? I'll say, okay, yes, now I've helped 30 people to find employment in 3 years. Okay, that is good. So I have experience in running a job club. That is good. I have experience in negotiating, in building relationship with other people. Okay, that with organizations, that is good. So I indicate that in the second column. Now, again, how will I know I have been successful for this, my desire to become an advisor, special advisor to Boris Johnson on employability? Then the last column, in which I will now begin to mark my progress. What progress am I making? Do I need to take a course? Do I need to take a course? Do I need to get mentors? Do I need to read books? Do I need to get a new certificate? Do I need to be part of a professional body for me to be able to do that and achieve my goal of becoming an advisor to Boris Johnson on employability? So these are practical ways of trying to ensure that you are planning and you are working towards attaining your career and your goal that you desire. Quickly, another template. This is a template of personal development. So in which you are asking, where are you currently coaching? For those who are coach, for who is a coach here, what's your details? Long term, in which there's long term goals and short term. Like I told you, there are various types of templates. So it depends on how you want to undo it. What are your long term goals? Become assistant social advisor to Boris Johnson. What are the short term goals? What I might need to do? So I itemize what I need to do. What actions are you going to take to achieve the short-term goal? I will itemize the action. Okay, get a mentor, get a book, get a certificate, or get a new degree, join professional body. I will itemize that. What support do I need? Because see, in life, you don't have everything. Like I mentioned at the initial, we all need each other. No man is a forest. You all need each other. So what support do I need? Do I need somebody who is already an MP to mentor me? Do I need somebody who already has experience as a special advisor to mentor me? Do I need somebody who is working as a civil servant to mentor me? You need to itemize in specific terms those things I need and to what those I need. Then by whom? By when? When do I need this experience, this goal that I'm achieving? What one do I need? How will I know when this has been achieved? Is that, okay, I've read how many books or I've written policy papers for the person who is on think tank, who is forming government policy? How many policies have you written? Do I need to get more person in the Nigerian Economic Summit group, for example, to mentor me and to write more economic policy? So these are practical steps you now begin to take, and this will now begin your template, which you'll be running with it, guiding you in planning your career. This is another type. I'm bringing the various types of template for you to see that there's no particular one fits all, but whatever one suits you, you can craft your own template based on. So this one is on the left, you can see priority. In other words, out of all your goals, you prioritize them. Which one is the most important? For this person, presentation skill is more important for the job now. Number 2, written skills is more important. The third one, commercial awareness, ability. The fourth one, team working skills. The fifth one, leadership skills. The current proficiency, how proficient are you currently in that role? Then, what is the target proficiency? What are you aiming at? So it says competent enough for classroom, but nervous not professional standard. So what is the target proficiency? To be confident, to be a good classroom presenter, to be able, so opportunity for development, make a presentation, to this person. So for me, maybe to volunteer, to say, okay, I want to become an advisor, opportunity for development, go to volunteer with Home Office, volunteer with Ministry of Education, volunteer with Ofsted, volunteer, you are putting practical things you need. Them criteria for judging success. So if I've volunteered, okay, let me give you a practical example here. I think this will be helpful to you. And like I know, I've told you based on my own personal experience and my own strengths, if it is talking, God has helped us and gifted us with that. So I know my personality trait. And so as a speaker, as a trainer, as a teacher, I like to be a TED speaker. So in trying to be a TED speaker, TEDx speaker, what did I do? So it's one of my goals, one of my desire, even though it's not written down, but it's one of the things I desire. So on LinkedIn, I sought out some people that are TEDx speakers. And I said, oh, it's good that I'm happy that you are a good person, TEDx speaker. I hope one day also to be a TEDx speaker. How can I go about it? And the guy just said, no problem. Just look out for TEDx in your city and talk to anybody and volunteer with them and be part of that. Can you see that is somebody mentoring me, giving me advice, giving me insight information? So what did I do? I reached out I did a search, knew about TEDx in Aberdeen, and I reached out to the person who is in charge. And I said, well, I would like to volunteer. I'm available to volunteer. And so before you know it, opportunity came for volunteering. TEDx Aberdeen is holding in this same, I never even knew it's holding this year. I never knew before. He said, oh, it's holding in July. You can be the volunteer. I was in the volunteer list. Before you know it, I'd done my volunteering. Do you now know the very interesting thing? Very, very interesting thing. And I know I'm just using this as a practical example. It's also on my slide. Is that the role I was supposed to volunteer with for the TEDx organization, I was to be a welcomer. In other words, welcoming the guests at the door and say welcome and getting them settled. On the day of the show, 31st of July, I appeared there. They began to apologize. I said, sorry, we are very sorry. The person that's supposed to do the role that they want to give to me, they call it speaker coaches. They call it the coach, somebody who will be coaching the speakers, those who are delivering TEDx on that day, on the stage, speaking on the stage. They said the person had an emergency and it's not true. Would I please, they were begging me, please, would you like accepting that role? I said, well, anyone, just give me, I'm here. And so I was given responsibility to be the one that would be with all the speakers from morning till evening and asking them, helping them, giving them confidence, giving them tips and ideas. And when the young lady took me to go and speak to them, she said, hey, here is Shola. He's an international speaker and he's going to help keep you comfortable and he's going to blah, 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 blah. And that was it. And to be honest with you, I had an amazing time speaking with all the TEDx speakers, getting to know them and getting to know me. You're going to see later on my slide about the outcome of a personal goal and how do I achieve it. Reaching out to somebody who and how I can tick my box to say, well, I'm making progress. I might not be there yet, but I'm making progress. Does that make sense? I hope this is helpful. So let me rush now because I know, wow. So another sample of this, so you have lots. Now, when it comes to the issue of employability lens, I don't know, maybe I might share the slide with us because we have used 1 hour and 40 minutes. Even though I know I started at 20 after 11 to speak. Now we are into it. So what do I do now? Okay, So at this point, I want to get feedback. Based on all the things we've spoke about PDP, I know Adeko Dynasty is here. He's an HR specialist. And any other person who is on the call, I could see when I just saw, I saw my senior pastor here. I saw Pastor Shegun, I saw Pastor Samson. I saw Tony Azi. Yeah, I need feedback at this time. Let's talk. I've been speaking. Let me stop sharing my screen at this point. Kester Oyibo, what have we got to say at this point? Adegoke Dynasty, I know you are an HR person, and I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very enlightening. Maybe I start by asking, I didn't quite get the explanations under the sub-theme of understanding yourself.
Okay.
Hopefully you can help me go back on that. And then again, the first issue you discussed under knowing yourself and exploring career goals. But generally, I've been able to appreciate the specific issues one needs to look at in trying to understand oneself and deciding a career choice, particularly as regards understanding competency levels and the areas you need to develop further. The resources you have also shared are very much helpful, which I have taken note of, and I'm sure I will look them up after this session. Hopefully, when you share this, I would also get. I didn't get a picture of the second template you shared.
Okay.
I was trying to take a snap of the template. So, yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, when it comes to the issue of understanding yourself, is for you to take a step back and know to say, who am I? You know, that's the question, the first question we asked, who am I? The issue of your identity. Are you introverted or are you extroverted? Because that is going to determine. So if, for example, you are extroverted, you are an extrovert, it means there's a tendency for you to always be spontaneous in your decision making. And sometimes spontaneity in decision making is good. Sometimes spontaneity in decision making could backfire and it could be a serious problem. It could be serious. So if you understand that, when you now want to make a decision as an extrovert, what do? You now calm down. You don't rush, because you know it will mar or make your career progression, or jump up, just say, well, I'm tired of this job. I'm tired of the way they are dealing with me at this job. I need to move now. I just need to move now. Now, you are not measuring, calculating, taking calculated risk, but you are just based on your ability to spontaneate because of your personality. You decide and you jump. So for somebody who says, okay, I'm tired of this job, the way they've not been appreciative of me, I'm going to resign. Now you are resigning and you are annoyed, but you don't have another job at hand. I hope you're getting me, Kester.
Yes.
So it's important to understand yourself. Know, when you understand your personality, you know why you take some decisions the way you take some decisions. And also you now know some people that you want to have in your circle of interest, in circle of influence, that could help you to guard against such kind of tendencies. You now know, how do I get accountability partners, accountability friends that I can share my idea with, that I can share what I want to do with, and get ideas to see if what I want to do is sensible or not. Without just not one day, you just come home and say to your wife, or if you're married, if you're not married, say, I've resigned. say, resign, how? Where I say, well, I can't take it anymore. They are taking me for granted in that office. How would your family live? But somebody who is extroverted can take that decision. Somebody who is introverted will not just resign. He will do a 360 view of, okay, where am I going to? How would I feed? How would I transport? How would my children go to school? How would my wife go to school? Somebody who is introverted, who is melancholy, would think and check all those boxes. Now, however, there's no good or bad in this aspect of either melancholy or not melancholy or phlegmatic or whatever. It's just to help you to know who you are and help you in making calculated risk. For somebody who is extroverted, they take a lot of risk. They are open to a lot of risk. They can just take any risk as it is. However, for those who is melancholy, they don't take risk. They do calculated risk. Now, it has been found that even by research, that most of the people that are successful are people who are extroverted in business, because they take a lot of risk. But what do they now do? For those who are billionaires, what do? They try to take calculated risk. They say, okay, this is the risk. You remember the video we watched at the beginning about Marx? The metaphor of Marx is to say, these are the challenges, these are the problems. How do I reduce the eventuality of these problems? How do I reduce this risk? And that's why those who are more able to take quick decisions, more able to take calculated risks, they make more money. But somebody who is introverted will be able to continue to will be thinking about the decision 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and not taking any good. So both are good. Is for you to find a way of, this is who I am. How do I reinforce my strength with the type of friends I choose, the kind of people that I bring into my influence, circle of influence that help me to be able to act as accountability partners, so that if you're not married, you don't not take a decision. If you are married, I believe sometimes God will choose your wife to fill that gap, to ensure that you don't just take a decision that at the end of the day, you will regret. I hope that has been helpful.
Very well, very well. Thank you.
Theo, what have you gained thus far? I don't know at what point you joined us. While I'm waiting for Theo, Anthony Azi, let me hear you. Anthony Azi. Okay, let me hear my pastor, Pastor Shegun, sir. We need your input, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ajide. And that's honestly, I think each of the things you have looked at are not things that you can just talk about in 1 hour, to be honest. So it's quite a lot there. But to be honest, these are the things we need, to be able to, pivot to the next level. It's so important for us to get to the place where we're practical with ourselves, where we're not just confessing and and motivating ourselves, so to say, but really coming down to ask ourselves the nitty-gritty practical questions. Always doing a SWOT for yourself. That's always doing finding out what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities, what are the things that would threaten where you want to go to, or what career you want to leverage into. So it's so important that we can do that at every point in time, because every time we do it, we create the opportunity, to face the things that are really, going to become hindrances, or the things we're going to struggle with, and it is in facing them that we can conquer them. You see, because a lot of us, we just brush over them, rather than looking critically at, why is this thing stopping me? Why is this a limitation for me? Or why have I not been able to cross beyond here? And it is when we start to do that, that we then start to, see, like you are saying, accountability partners. Do I need a mentor? Do I need someone who has done this before? You know, do I need somebody who has, you know, a lot of us out of pride, or I don't know what I'll call it. We just think, oh no, I won't ask anybody. I'll just, honestly, you know, you will just waste your time, because what should take you 1 week or 1 month will probably take you a year. You know, it's so much easier to go to someone who has done it before, you know, someone who has been there before, and they can tell you the pitfalls to avoid. You know, it's so important, you know. So I honestly, it's such a blessing. Some of these things that we are sharing, full of a lot of insight, and I just hope that, you know, we can take a lot away, you know, from it, not just to help ourselves, but also to be able to help other people, because at the end of it, that's the essence. It's not just to help yourself, but then to be able to also become, you know, a source of help and support for another person. You know, because the more you do that for other people, the better you're also getting yourself. You know, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for that.
Yes.
And just that point you mentioned about the more you do it for other people, the better you get yourself. I'll tell you that this for free. Like somebody I listen to, you always say, "I will tell you for free." I'm not recharging. It says, "I will tell you for free." That some of the things we are discussing has put pressure on me to also go and learn some things, and to begin to go and dig out some things which I've not even looked at before. Some things I even discovered, I even look at, I say, in that area, Shola, you are inefficient. In that area, oh, no. Because as you are trying to look at these issues, one is getting to see and understand. And like you rightly mentioned, sir, all of us, we need to begin to maximize and to push ourselves. Now, looking at the comments of the video we looked at earlier, Suam was commenting on the comments made by the video. It says, do it anyways. It's better to try and fail. Or let me go back to the beginning, because I know I asked us to comment and I didn't. Okay, based on what people want to learn something new that can help me be the better version of me as I journey through life. Yes, I'm here to unlearn and relearn. That's Lillian. And I think Lillian has dropped relearn personal brand, employability skills, etc. More clarity. Juliet says more clarity on steps for moving forward. Belu says want to attain a height above poverty and discover myself. Tori Okpe says, I hope to gain practical knowledge on career planning and career advancement I can implement in my career coaching for students and graduates. Then Rotimi says, knowledge is a huge asset. The more you build, the more wealthy you become. This is the drive to attend this session. I believe that coming in here, I shall learn more from the presentations and the subsequent engagement. So I hope, for even though they're not here, nice meeting, I have to go. I'm correct in San Transit. That's now, based on the video of doubt, it says, do it anyways. It is better to try and fail than having to live with the regret of not trying at all. You don't learn lessons from not doing anything. Even if you fail, you can learn from your failures, or you might just succeed. And that's the point. What of if it works? Now, when I was planning and putting up this event, the question would be, would anybody attend the event? Would anybody show up today? About 35 people register for this event. And I was saying, out of 35, would anybody show up? Would some people show up? As I don't know. But the point is that I'm resolute that either they show up, or if it's just one person that is here today, we are going to go for it, because you just have to do it. So I don't know what area in your career that you want to pivot, and something is just holding you. Just have to take the bull by the horn to say, I will do it. Because if he succeeds, only you will hit the success. If he doesn't succeed, like we said earlier, the regrets and the pain, only you also will bear the regrets and the pain. So fear of the unknown makes one consider job security as priority. Of course, yes. Great insight. Thanks for sharing. My word, okay. And thank you, Adekoke Dynasty, for sharing those links for to be able to check those things, and you help students, particularly in Africa, for them to be able to see how they can benefit from this session. Wow, wow, wow. So at this point, I'm at a dilemma. I don't know what to do at this point, to be honest with you. We have spent 5 minutes, 4 minutes to 1, 2 hours, and we have only just done the first session. So what do you, I'm open to suggestion now. What do you think we should do? I'm open to suggestion, please. What should we do? I'm open to suggestion. What do we do? All of us are quiet.
In my opinion, I think we can still extend it to 1 hour more to cover more. Yes.
Okay, 1 hour more. Okay. Do we all agree to, let's vote? Show your thumbs up if you want, if you agree to 1 hour more. Again, you will begin to see, I hope by now, you are beginning to see my own personality traits and my own leadership style. In which to say, we want to do something, I always want a consensus. I always want a consensus before I do something. Okay, so only one person has voted. Okay, let's have part 2 to discuss various practical scenarios. Okay, all right. So part 2 to discuss various scenarios. Okay. Okay, there are 2 persons who said we should go ahead. Now, okay, all right. Let's go this way. I hope you can see my screen again. Okay, what I'll do is that I'll take on the personal branding. I will jump employability skill. I will take personal branding. So even if we end at personal branding today, if we end at personal branding, that will be good. Even if we end at personal branding, that will be okay. So I'll just now, interestingly enough, personal branding also, there is a video to watch. However, I think I'll just run through personal branding and we would call it a day. All right. So let's go to personal branding. Now, this cannot be overemphasized. Your personal branding cannot be overemphasized. Let me ask let me not ask the question. I think I'll allow Tony Robbins to ask the question. I'll allow Tony Robbins to ask the question. So your personal brand. A personal brand is a widely recognized and largely uniform perception or impression of an individual based on their experience, their expertise, their competencies, their actions, and or their achievements within a community, an industry, or the marketplace at large. So if you underline, based on what we have been discussing, when you hear branding, it is just perception. How do the people perceive you? In your current career, how do they perceive you? In your community, how do they perceive you? Even in your church, if you are a person of faith, a Christian, how do they perceive you? If you are working in an office, how do they perceive you? That is your personal branding. So and it's from the uniform. It's the way they see you in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. It's based on your experience, your expertise, and your competencies, your actions, or what have you achieved within the community, within your industry, or the marketplace. So you now see, well, let me not go ahead of myself. Let me just not go ahead of myself. Okay, personal branding. So we're going to watch, Tony Robbins is one of the mentors I look at when it comes to the issue of personal growth and development. And we're going to just listen to this. And I think this might be a little bit, please don't, like they normally say in church, don't sleep. We are going to hear a lot of information now. So don't be like those people that maybe night vigil, they are sleeping. No, don't at this point. You need to be paying rapt attention because you're going to hear about some key things that will help you go away from here, that will help you improve your personal brand, improve your personal brand of your organization, of your business, of you as a person. Because to be honest with you, when people do business with your business, they're not doing business with your business. They're actually doing business with you as a person, with you as an individual. All right, so let's all right. Okay, I think I need to watch. So please, I'll ask, please take note. So what did you gain from that? I want you to put comments. What did you gain from that? Okay, 30 more minutes. Okay, we have 16 more. So what did you gain from that? Let's comment. What did you gain from that session about the importance of brand that you had? I don't want to give out the answers based on. Okay, well, maybe I'll just go for it. So the key points, and we'll just wrap up with this. There are 5 steps to create a unique identity. You had what is talk about the issue of for you to talk about any particular brand, it means that branding is identity. Branding is identity. So if, for example, okay, thank you, Kester, articulate and communicate your competitive advantage with examples. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So if you want them to know, for example, Toriokwe, who is helping a career coach, helping people to discover something. If in Lagos State, for example, I think Toriokwe is in which, I can't remember which state you said you are in again. If in that state, they cannot remember you when they talk about career coaching, then there's a challenge. It means your brand is not yet visible, recognizable. However, for that brand to be recognizable is dependent on identity. Can you now see how it ties in with those 5 questions? Can you see how it ties in with the 5 questions we started with in the beginning? You must understand who you are. Who am I? It's an issue of identity. So in making impact, in getting more sales, in getting more customers, in impacting more lives, in changing more people's lives, it all boils down to the aspect of your identity. Thank you, Tulokwe. You say your personal identity contributes to your personal branding. Know your competitive advantage and communicate it with an example and be specific. Excellent. So that's the point. That's the point you're talking about when it comes to the issue of personal branding. So for you to move, and like you had the example he gave there. So even if you don't own a business, you have a personal brand. Those who are getting promotion in your office, like he said, they have a personal brand. Their brand comes to mind. Their brand stands in the head of the CEO. Now, let me share this at this point. I don't know if you know, I can't remember his name now. he was the youngest CEO of, I think, Owando. He was the youngest CEO of Owando. I can't remember his name now. In which a very young person at a very young age, and he became the CEO of Owando. Do you know how he became the CEO? He said the job, when he got the job in that company, what he started with in that company, he was like a special assistant. You know the role of a special assistant. You are always around the manager. You're always helping the manager to organize his diary. You're always helping something. But you see, what moved him forward for the owners of the company to make him the CEO was because when it comes to making the critical decision, who do we give this role to? His personal brand. What does that mean? It means when they are having meeting, because he's the personal assistant, he must be in the place where the change makers are making decisions. He's in that meeting. And when they are making decisions, he will chip in and give advice. Oh, why not do it this way? Why not do this one? No, if you do that way, this might happen. Even though they didn't invite him to the conversation. And what was that doing? It was shaping the way the perception, remember the definition, the perception, the impression that the managers, owners of the company were having of him. And when the time came for an opportunity to choose a CEO from an executive assistant, the managers, the people believed he can run the company, and they gave him that role. So for you to even gain promotion in your current place of work, your current role, your personal brand must be impeccable. Your manager, your superiors must think of you when it comes to being effective, being productive, achieving goals, fulfilling targets, being efficient, being an all-rounder, like it happened during the coronavirus. They were mentioning that a lot of people were losing their jobs. Only those people who retained their jobs during the coronavirus are people whom the employer saw as an all-rounder. They don't only just say, I am for sales, I am employed for sales, I only do sales. They can do sales, they can do marketing, they can do admin, they can do cleaning. If you want them to even do security, they can do. If you want them to do receptionist, they can do receptionist. If you want them to go, they can do everything, even though they are being paid a meager salary. Your personal brand is important. So understand the true power of identity, identify and articulate your competitive advantage, practice communicating this advantage congruently, live it, let it be known. Let people know you as a person of value, that anywhere you are just about to give people value. You're just about to make other people's life better. You are a person that provides information for people. You don't hoard information. You always seek the good of other people and market it, show it on LinkedIn. And that's where I would have, but I will just stop now because I don't want to open. I've given you an example earlier about my LinkedIn experience. I don't want to go in there now, but it's part of the marketing. So let me just end because I mentioned LinkedIn. I'll just jump to that one. See what I wrote as a feedback to the team on LinkedIn. I said, what an excellent plan, TEDx, with great lineup of inspiring and engaging speakers. Thank you for the opportunity to volunteer. And see what the lady in charge of, who was like my line manager during the voluntary role, who was the one that I worked with. She said, thank you for volunteering and for jumping into an established group. You see, they already have a committee. The volunteer group already established. I came in, and my coming in did not spoil anything. It added value, and it make it come out good. And so she says, thank you for jumping into an established group last minute to beautifully and generously help steward them to stage and unwind after. It was a great privilege to have you helping the event. So here, one of the speakers at the event, whom I was privileged, Professor Lorna David Dawson. She said, thanks, Olushola. You were a great support to us all in the green room, a real part of TEDx Aberdeen team. Thanks. And that same lady who was says, thank you again for your kind spirit and willingness to jump in with our speakers to keep things calm and zen in the green room. So thank you again for, so we have already seen that. So you get the point now in which you put yourself forward. You think of, how do I serve? How do I add value? That is how you are going to be noticed in your company. How do I add value? What else can I do? What additional thing can I do for my employer, for my boss, for my company, in my community? What can I do for my colleagues? When you do that, your personal brand will shoot up. People will recognize you. By the virtue of me doing this, I'm volunteering in TEDx Aberdeen. A lot of people that don't know me before now know me on LinkedIn. Why? Because I stepped out of the way. I'm not being paid for it. It's to say, how can I add value? How can I serve? Even though I have my own motive of going to volunteer. But the point is, if you add value to other people, they will add value to you, and your personal brand will shoot up, and you will be on your way to career progression, more money, more achievement, and more positive impact in your career, in your personal life, in your family, and in your community. So I think I would just want to end on that. I know so I want feedback now. Thank you so much. So I've not had Pastor Samson speak, if he's around the system, or Tony. Feedback at this point before we draw it to a close. Even though left for me, if we can just continue talking, it's Pastor Sir, Pastor Samson.
Hallelujah! Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful teaching, or shall I say, presentation. Also, Mr. Dayo as well. I've been blessed by the teaching, and I've learned so much. Even though I joined late, I've learned so much, to be honest. And I quite like the last point that you raised, about, stepping out, just, taking the bull by the horn. We've got to come out of our comfort zone, if we want to really brand ourselves very well. So, I mean, like you said, you were not paid for that which you did for them, but at the end of the day, look at the positive feedbacks, and I believe that's going to be like a platform for, or a springboard for something greater that is ahead by the grace of God. So I think we've got to be doing that, to add values to ourselves, to add values to our career. We've got to just be motivated. Whether we are being rewarded financially now or not, let's just step out there, and the Lord himself will help us in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Yes, Tony. Is Tony there to speak? Swam. Is Swam there to speak? Theo, are we shy?
Hi, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I always love to listen to you. I always love to join your meetings. I know that I always take home a lot. And this has been an amazing time.
Yeah.
And I hope to put all of this to use, and also to be able to impact as much people as possible. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
Thank you. Now, Swam has been with us. Swam was a volunteer in the job club here in Aberdeen before she moved back to Nigeria, when she came for her LLM. And we've continued trying to see how she's still working with us and always attending our programs. So thank you very much, Swam, for always being there for us. Thank you. Theo. Tony says, thank you so much for the insight. I came in late and chose to listen to others and get as much as I can instead of talking. I'm also managing childcare. Well done. But Theo, any thoughts? Sister Tung and Olabisi, we've not heard your voice. If Theo is not the sister, Olabisi, Oshobaju, and Tung, if you can't talk, at least type something for us. Give us a comment, feedback. Then the Adigo Kidana sister. So let's hear you. Adegoke Dynasty.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. Yeah, it's a privilege to be part of this meeting today. To be honest with you, I've learned a lot, and a lot of things have been taken on. And then, yes, so I think I've got nothing to add, but just to say thank you for the opportunity to be part of the program. So we'll be looking forward to part 2, hopefully.
Part 2. Now we, of course, yeah, we look for a date in the diary to put part 2 out.
Thank you so much.
So thank you. And I want to thank every one of us, those who have left, those who also are here. Thank you so much for coming. Our desire is to add value to you. Our desire is to help provide support. Our desire is to continue to all of us, like where I come from, they said, it takes the whole community to raise a child, isn't it? So when it comes to the issue of career planning and career goal and progression, to be honest with you, it takes the whole community. It takes the whole community. It takes you reaching out. Maybe next time when we go back to the issue of LinkedIn is a good mind. I say the amount of people, the amount of people I've known on LinkedIn, the amount of people that I'm now associating with on LinkedIn, I'm telling you, it's amazing. When it comes to the issue of personal branding, when it comes to the issue of positioning yourself in your industry and framing, there's what we call framing in academic writing, in which you frame, you want to position yourself in the way, in the mind of people. It's also part of it also in job center, assessment centers. We don't have time. Maybe we will say that when you go to assessment center, the way you communicate in the assessment center, the way you communicate at the interview, all those framing is extremely important for your personal brand, for the value you carry and the value you want to deliver, to the corporate organization. Dr. Oshobaju, let's hear you. We've not heard anything from you, if you are there.
Hi, yes, I'm still here. I think people have said a lot of things. And personally, for me, I think there's just a thin line between people that are successful in their career and people that are not successful. They are not, the successful people are not magicians. And for me, as a project person, one thing I keep emphasizing is planning. So if you plan your career, there is every probability for you. There is the further you've planned, you have a 50% chance of being successful. If you don't plan at all, there is no chance of being successful. Things that happens in life are not by chance. They happen by planning. So for me, out of all we said, planning is a key thing I do every day, every morning, every hour. Before I set out, I make my plans, because with that, you can set clear objectives of what you want to achieve. So I would say planning is really, really key for us to be successful in our respective careers.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And I think that's succinctly put it. And you see what you just said now is what L. Nightingale mentioned. He says the difference between those who are successful and those who are not successful is that those who are successful, they do what unsuccessful people will not do. Which is, like you mentioned, they plan. They take time to think, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to be at the end of the year? And when I started out this year, thank you, and every part, so thank you, Statum. When I started out this year, my desire this year was that, I must go to the next level in every area of life, based on, and I think it's possible for you, and don't underestimate. And that's where we address the initial, your doubt. See, whatever you want to achieve, either more money you want to make, you can make 3 figures, 6 figures. I'm going there on my journey. I'll get there. You can make 6 figures. You can make 7 figures. It's possible if only you know what it takes to get to that point. So it's for you to say, okay, I want to achieve this. This is where I want to go. And this is what I need. This is the price I need to pay, and begin to pay it. And as you begin to pay it, you begin to move forward to your career advancement, towards your career goal. It's extremely, extremely, extremely important. So thank you. I think I'll just wrap this up now. It's a long session, even though Adibim, we are cut out for it. I'm hoping this might take us the whole day. The session, we've only just covered just one of the sessions and just a little bit half of the personal branding. So we'll go forward to it, and thank you very much, everybody. Again, you will see the flyer out for the next session, and for us to know, I'll look into that in the date, and we can be able to do part 2 of this, to continue to finish up with what we are doing. But I would really, really appreciate that by this time next month, that is in a month's time, you take stock. You take stock and say, okay, I attended this thing 1 month ago. How has it helped me? Where am I now? What I had a month ago, has it helped me with what I'm doing now? Has it helped me? Has it improved my brand in my place of work? Do they think of me when they think of opportunities? Do they think of me when they think of promotion, improvement of salary? You need to begin to take that stock and begin to look at us as a personality, and begin to think. When you take a decision, I hope all the time we have spent, when you take a decision, you need to ask, okay, why did I take this decision? Why did I act that way? Is it because of my personality? You begin to understand and begin to, understand why you do what you do, and make you to make calculated risk, and not just being frivolous and just be on the spur of the moment. And thank you for Dr. Olushola about the issue of planning. I tell you, I can say this, and I'm not I'm vulnerable to that aspect. There are times in which I've left things just to be going, but now, since the year I said no, this cannot continue to happen. There's been progression in which say, no, you need to plan for this, you need to do that, and since that, so planning is key. Planning is key. Like yesterday night, we were having a conversation about this issue of planning. Planning is key. He said, even God is a planner. He planned before you were born. He planned you. So we need to. I can't buttress it more. I think I'm just repeating myself now. So I think we just need to drop it to a close. Thank you very much, everybody who has been on this call. I really appreciate our time. Now, because we are, I don't know if we can show our face for us to do a group photograph, but if not, we'll just do a screen grab just to show those of us who are at this event today. A lot of people have come, and thank you, sir. Thank you. A lot of people have come. Let's just have a screen grab. If you can show your video, please. Sorry, just for okay. Oh, let me take it again. Pastor Kim, sorry, just one more. Pastor Olushola, your lighting is, but no problem. We can. Okay, better. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. So thank you so much. God bless you. All right. Bye. Bye. Bye.